So let's get right on and let's look at the things that we're going to do tonight. I am really excited to bring these looks to you tonight. I've been looking forward to this all day. And I just want to tell you guys, so just bear with me. My mouth is really dry from all this medication, so I feel like I'm spitting cotton and chasing a squirrel. So just bear with me. So I'm going to get me a drink here before we get on into this. I'm going to try water. I've got 2 or 3 different things up here that I'm going to try. So I'm going to give me a swig of water before we start. Thank y'all for bearing with me tonight. So I already have on my face primer. I have on my eye primer and my lip liner. I have on light nude lip liner, and I have done my eyebrows. I like to do some of that before I get on camera. Oh, and I've got on my foundation and the translucent powder. But I always like to do that before I get on camera so these lives don't take an hour and a half. So that's what I've done. I've already done the basics. And I actually put on a little bit more eyeliner tonight than I normally, not eyeliner, eyebrow liner than I normally do, because these ladies have brushed their brows up and they're thicker. Now the thicker brow has been in for a while. That's something I normally don't do because I am not a fan of that on me. I think that it's very aging when you get older to have really thick, bushy brows. And I think for me, it always reminds me of my grandmother Campbell. And I remember when I was a kid, I used to go in with the scissors and cut her eyebrows. And so I think when my eyes get really bushy, I start thinking like that. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. So tonight, we're just going to go ahead and do the eye look, the cheek look, and the lip look. Now I'm going to do this side of the face with the pink look, and I'm going to do from here over with the beachy bronze. So let's just get right to it, and let's just dive right on in. Now I'm going to have to put my glasses on, girls, just for a second. And I'm going to clip my hair back on this one side. Now this actually looks more like I look every day, right like this with my hair clipped back. So let's go with the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to do the pink side, and let's just go for it. This is Shy Blush, and I'm just going to get a little bit on my brush, and I'm going to concentrate mainly on the apples of my cheeks with that. And I'm just going to go in there and put on a pretty good amount because this lady has on a decent amount of pink blush. And I'm just going to kind of polish that in right like that. And I'm going to sweep that right up in there up to the middle of my nose. And there's probably going to be some overlap here, ladies, so don't laugh. There probably is. Let me take a look at the picture real quick. Hang on. I'm going to have to go back and forth looking at this picture and doing this. Okay. Now, she is fairly pink, so I'm just going to build this color. I normally wear a blush and a highlighter, so color me makeup addicted. I mean, that's just kind of what I do. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit more of my blush. I'm going to go down here just a little bit more with it. This is a little bit more than what you're normally going to do, but you're wanting to just kind of give yourself a little flushed look. And I'm going to go right here with it, just and a little bit right there with that blush. Not much, just do enough to make it just kind of frame my face a little bit. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my highlighter in Glazed, and I'm going to use my fan brush. Now, I don't know if you all have a fan brush or not. Mary Kay does not sell fan brushes, but if you don't, you can use the edge. That's what this flat edge of your foundation brush is for. So if you have a Mary Kay foundation brush, you can use the flat edge of your foundation brush and do exactly the same thing that I'm getting ready to do with my fan brush. I just have a ton of brushes because of all my years of fiddling with makeup that I have brushes from, I probably have a brush from everywhere I've ever been in my life. So let's use this Glazed. And I'm just going to put some right here. Now you can see how that kind of brightens up that spot. I'm going to go right there. A little bit right under there. I'm going to go right in the middle of my forehead with it, and I'm going to do this for just both sides because I'm going to want to do it for the other one too. So I'm just going to go right in there. And then I'm going to go down the middle of my nose with that. And she's got some right there. Now, normally I don't do a lot right there, but you know, tonight we only live once, so let's do this. And then I'm going to go right there on my chin with that. And I'm actually going to take a Q-tip, and I'm going to get a little bit of that on my Q-tip, and I'm going to go right down those little lines above my lip and right there in my Cupid's bow. Now, this kind of gives your face just a little bit of a pop. And, you know, we're wanting to be, on the pink side, we're wanting to be kind of shimmery because she is really shimmery. Now, let me take a look at myself. There's no telling what I've done to myself tonight. Okay, let me look in my magnifier here. Let me look on the scary side of my mirror, as they say. So, we're good. Now, one thing that I'm going to do, the next thing is I'm going to start on my eyes. And ladies, bear with me. I've had a couple of allergy issues the last couple of days. So, I'm going to use a little bit of a color that we have that's called Candlelight. And that is, Candlelight, where are you? That's this right here. And you can tell, if you can tell, I've dug into this. I've been in this color a lot because I love that color. Two of my favorites are Candlelight and Rose Gold. They're beautiful colors. And I'm going to get a little bit of this, and I'm not going to use much, but I'm going to go right up here at my brow, and I'm going to just do enough to kind of, I'm on the wrong side. Lord help me, ladies. Right up in here. And I'm just going to use a little bit to lighten that up. Thank goodness the lady has done almost the same thing on the other side. Oh. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Dusty Rose. Let me pull that picture up here a little closer so I can see where she's got her makeup and how she's got it going. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of Dusty Rose, and I'm going to go right in here with that. I'm actually going to do, you know, all the way across the front and out to the outer corner. And I'm going to leave the part in the center just blank. And I'm going to go in with the Biscotti, which is this color. Now it's photographing really white, and it is light, but it isn't exactly white. It's kind of an off-white, and I'm going to go just a little bit right there in the middle with that, just where I didn't put any of that shadow, and lighten that up like that. Then I'm going to go in with one of my favorite colors, which is Hazelnut. I have just fallen in love with this hazelnut. You can do a million things with this color. And I'm going to go in my crease with the hazelnut. And I'm just going to blend it on out to the end. And when I'm in this magnifying mirror, I can see that I really need to pluck my eyebrows. So that's going to be happening here in the next 24 hours. Then I'm going to go in as I do that, and I'm just going to blend everything down. I'm just going to blend. because you want a soft look. You don't want anything really harsh. You want your colors to just kind of blend from one into the other. And I'm going to actually go up with this soft heather just a little further than I normally would, simply because the model has hers on that way. And her lid and my lid are similar in shape, so this is something that, you know, I can translate fairly well onto my eyelid. Now, having said that, she has on very little eyeliner. And eyeliner is kind of my wheelhouse. That's something that I do every day that I leave my house. Is I don't leave this house without eyeliner. So I'm going to put on a little bit of eyeliner, but I'm going to try to stick very close to what she has done. Now, one thing that she has done is she has used, it looks like a very soft color right at her brow line. And it looks brown. So I'm going to actually use this color here, and it is Cinnabar. And I'm going to, this is a stiff brush, and I'm going to actually use this to make my eyeliner because her look is very soft. And you know, you can do this. If you have one of these stiff brushes like this or like this, you can turn any of your eyeshadows into a liner. So I'm going to put this, and I'm going right down at my lash line with this. Now, that just kind of softens that just a little bit, and I'm actually going to use that, and I'm going to go underneath the eye. She has too on this look. So I'm going to go right in, and I'm going to go over a little further than I normally would because that's the way the look that the model has here. She doesn't have a lot kicked out here on the side, but she does have just a bit right there. So I'm going to just kind of blend that a little bit right there. And you've got to be careful. My eye is, if you have a crepey eye, or if you have an eye that's saggy like I do, you got to kind of be careful doing that. You always want to try to kick up when you do something like that. The last thing that I'm going to do to this eye before I apply the eyeliner is I'm going to put a little bit of a lighter shimmery eyeshadow in the corner, and I'm going to use a little bit, and I'm just going to use a Q-tip. I'm going to use a little bit of this crystalline. It's got a little bit of a shine to it, and I don't want a lot, but I want enough to give it a bit of a pop. So I'm just going right in there with that, like that. Now, if you don't want quite that much of a shine right there, you can always go in with your highlighter and do exactly the same thing that I just used that crystalline for. You can use your highlighter to do that. Now, here we are with just the eyeshadow, and I'm going to go in now with the liner. Now, what I'm going to do with my eyeliner, this is Mary Kay crayon eyeliner in black, and I'm going to apply this on my upper lashes, on my upper lid on the waterline. So you want to go in there and just get in there in between those lashes. I'm hoping you all can see this. I'm going to try to angle this a little different, so hopefully you all can see a little bit better. Because I gotta have this thing here so that I can look at it. So go in there and get that good. In between your lashes. Now, when you do this, guys, you want to use a soft crayon. Or a gel liner. You don't want to use your liquid liner to do that because that is really hard to do. So, and you know, you poke yourself in the eye and that's not good. So now that I've got all that done, I'm going to finish this eye up with our Fanorama mascara. So I am in love with this mascara. If you haven't tried Fanorama, this is fantastic. It has 3 different things that this brush does. It applies, it separates, and it fans. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this. Let me grab this and go down here with it. Get this situated. And I'm going to apply this from the base of my lashes all the way out to the end. And you want to use that little wiggling motion and just get that on there real good. And here's a little tip and trick, ladies. If you line your waterline on your top lid, it will make your lashes look longer if you don't line up above the lid. If you just line, oops, got a little bit on my nose. If you just line that bottom. Now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to separate them out. Then I'm going to use my tip to fan that out. And I'm going to do the same on my bottoms. I'm just going to use the fan. Here's the eye look. Now we're going to move on and do the lips. This is Poppy Please. And I'm going to try to put this on half of my lip. So if this is an epic fail, you guys, well, we've just all had an epic fail here together in this group tonight. So I'm going to use a little bit of this, and I'm going to go rather bold with this because she did. Now, you could certainly finish this off with a nude or a nice soft pink or something like that if you don't want to go this bold. But the bold lip is really big this summer. Here we go. Now, I'm applying this with this stick because I do not actually have a tube of this open. This is a sample. But here's the actual size of the lipstick. So, now, when you're applying your makeup, ladies, think outside the box just a little bit. Think of colors that you normally don't put together and try that. That was one thing that really attracted me to this look, was these colors don't look like that they normally would go together, but they do. So let's look at this side. Let me put my glasses on so I can see this side. And this is just a little bit bold lip with some softer eye. Now, let's move on to the beachy color, and let's just do that. So what we're going to use tonight, let me take a look at the lady. We're going to use these colors here. We're going to use Crystalline, we're going to use Shiny Penny, and we're going to use Rustique. This is what we're going to use tonight. Now let me do the colors. Let me do the cheek color because I almost forgot that. Y'all bear with me. What we're going to use on the cheeks is I'm going to use my highlighter. I'm going to use Glazed, and I'm going to use Honey Glow. So we're going to use two different highlighters to get that shimmery look. So I'm going to take my Honey Glow, and I'm going to go right here. One thing I really liked about this beachy look, and I just loved this with this lady that did this, I just really loved the freckles on both these ladies. I love freckles. I just think they're just as cute as they can be, and I think some of it is because my late husband had a lot of freckles, and I just think that they're adorable. So I'm going to go up here and do the same thing right around the edges, and you don't have to use as much of this highlighter because it's darker than the blush. So sometimes I just wear this as my blush, and sometimes, a lot of times, I put it over my blush. Then I'm going to take my Glazed, which is this, and I'm going to do the same thing right here. And I'm going to do a little bit right there. Make sure I got that still down there. I'm going to go right in there. She's not quite as shiny as the other lady, but I do want to make sure she's got a good shimmer going right here because that's where that's where she shines, is right there at the outer portion of her eye. So here's this. So let's get on this, and I think I already made the mistake and put the crystalline up here, so I'm going to just go back with it just a little bit more. But she doesn't have much up there. She has more of the shiny penny and the rustique. And I do love this on the eye. Now this eye is a little more shiny. The cheek is a little less shiny. So we're going to go with the shine here on the eye, and I'm going to use this shiny penny. And if you all haven't tried this shiny penny, this is such a fun color. I absolutely love this color. It's one of my faves in my box of mini faves. So I'm going to go almost to the very inner corner with this, and I'm just going to go, I'm going to cover about half my lid with this. And I'm going to actually use more than I probably would, but I want to make sure you all see this application. This is more than I would normally wear out. But I want to make sure that you all can see this application good and see what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to blend it down a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with the darker shimmer, which is the rustique. And that is this color right here. Now I'm going to take this rustique and I'm going to go up quite a bit with it, because that's pretty up there close to that brow, close to that eyebrow. And I'm going to go on the second half of my lid, apply it in an upward motion. You almost want to kind of have like a little superhero look here going on with it. You want to kind of get that up there. And I say superhero because that kind of reminds me of Thor's wing or something. I don't know. I just crossed my mind when I was doing this. So we're just going to blend it down. And then she has, let me pull my picture back up. She has got a lot of brown underneath her eye. Now, I'm not going to do all that brown underneath my eye because I don't think that that's going to look good, because I am, you know, that ship has kind of sailed, ladies. But I am going to take a bit of this crystalline, that light, and I'm going to go in the corner with that because she's got a bit of that right there and right there too. And she's got a bit, hers is a bit pronounced. But that's okay. You know, you do it to whatever level that you want to do. So let's get over here, and I'm going to put a little bit more under my eye. I'm not going to go quite as bold as she is, but this is an inspiration. We don't have to do it exactly like what she's done. But I am going to put more than I normally would so you all can see this. And trying to keep my little wing going here. Then I'm going to go in and I'm just going to blend it down some more. And if you want to deepen this color out at the edge, you could. It actually looks like that she has. And so I'm going to take just a bit of hot fudge, which is this color here. And I'm going to go to the outer corner and just kind of tap a little bit of that out. And I'm not going to use a lot, but I want to just get it a little darker out there. So then I'm going to go back with my big blending brush and I'm going to blend. Okay, so here is that look so far without the liner. Now she doesn't have on much eyeliner either, and it doesn't look like she has on any on her upper lid. So what I'm going to do tonight is we're just going to use the same technique that we just used, and we're going to use this on our waterline. So we're going to go in with this and really try to get in there between your lashes if you can, because that's where the magic happens. And use little short strokes if you can. It works a little bit better if you use little short strokes rather than trying to do one long stroke. So there's that eye. And we're ready for mascara over there. So I'm going to take my Fanorama mascara, same mascara I just used. I'm going to do the same thing to this eye. Then take your little fan brush and fan those little puppies out there. And just do the same thing underneath. And I'm just going to take my fan brush again, and I'm going to just, well, my Fanorama brush for my mascara, not my actual fan brush. And there's that side. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use just gloss, because that looks like what she's has done. I'm going to use Fancy Nancy. Now, this is the size of our lip gloss. It's this size. This is not the color I'm going to use, because I'm actually going to use our mini in Fancy Nancy, because that's what I have on hand. But this is the actual size. If you purchase our lip glosses, they're $15. They're great. They stay on well, and they're just pretty. But I'm going to use Fancy Nancy. So let's use the Fancy Nancy on one side. Fancy Nancy is just kind of a beachy shimmer. So here we go with Fancy Nancy. So here we go. Here's the look. Now, here's this side. Oh, let me take my hair out so you can get the full effect. Okay, here's this side versus this side. And y'all tell me which side that you like the best. So this side versus this side. I love them both, and I actually think that if I want just a casual look, I think this one is going to be good for that. I think if you want to go a little bit more bold, I think this one is great too. I think this one would be great for the beach for the evening when you're going out. I'm actually curious as to what this lipstick would look like on the other side. The Poppy Please, I really love this color if I want a bold lip. I'm just not sure that with me that I can carry off a more nude side and a bold lip. I'm just not sure that my face can carry that off. I usually just go bold. I go big or go home. That's kind of how I do. Okay, guys. This is the look for tonight. You guys have a wonderful evening. God bless you all. I love you guys. You guys in this group are my heart, and you guys in my YouTube channel, you guys are great. I don't know what I'd do without you as my community. Listen, have a great evening. God bless you all.